When I was a kid, one of the first game series that I really got into was Pokemon. I used to play all of the games, all the generations. I had basically every game up till X and Y, and it was a really special time. I remember going to middle school and going to like recess and during snack time. Me and a bunch of friends would like huddle up together and play Pokemon together. And sometimes we'd do trades on the bus, or we'd help each other catch legendary Pokemon. It was a really special time for me. But over time, I started to fall out of the series, and I couldn't really pinpoint why that was. I just kind of chalked it up to me getting older. And I thought it was just natural for me to not have the same level of enjoyment in a series like that as I did when I was a kid. But despite that, even as I got older, going into junior high and high school and even college, I would still try to play Pokemon, like the old games. And I would give it a real attempt at playing, and I would, every time without fail, I would always drop the games. And I didn't know why. I kind of hated it. And then over time, I kind of realized my main issue wasn't that I was just getting older or that I didn't enjoy the games. It was that I was spending way too much time trying to optimize the player experience. I would do everything outside of the game that I possibly could to ensure that I was having the perfect playthrough. Researching like what team I was going to use, what natures every Pokemon was going to have, crafting the perfect moveset to counter every single type matchup possible. And I was doing that before I even started the game. I'd research what Pokemon were found on what routes, see what types I would need for certain gym leaders, like the whole 9 yards, like everything. And then when things wouldn't go my way, when I would struggle to find a Pokemon, or when I would have the wrong nature, or when I would have the wrong ability, I would get frustrated. I would get really frustrated with myself and with the game, to the point where after that would happen one too many times, I would just stop playing. I was just completely ruining the experience of playing Pokemon. So a month or two back, I was getting the itch again to play a Pokemon game, and my dad got me this totally legit Game Boy for Christmas a few years ago, and I haven't used it, so I thought it would be a good excuse for me to use it. And I decided to go with Emerald. Gen 3 is the generation that I've played the least amount. It's the one that I remember the least about too. And for some reason, I remember not liking this generation. I wouldn't be able to pinpoint the exact reason as to why that is. I just remember it being my least favorite. So I thought playing through Emerald again would at least open my eyes as to why I held that opinion in the first place. And it was perfect. It was essentially a blind playthrough. I haven't played it in over 10 years. So I picked it up, and I really only had a few goals when starting a new save file, and that was to just play the game and to not look anything up. I didn't want to know where Pokemon were caught. I didn't want to know what Pokemon were caught when. I didn't want to know the gym leaders, their types, like nothing. I just wanted to have as fresh and as blind of a playthrough as possible. And I have to say, I've had the most fun playing Pokemon that I've had since I was a kid. Like, there were literally days when I just could not put the Game Boy down. I was going to bed playing it, and I would wake up early, so I had an extra hour to play it in bed as well. I swear it reminded me of when I was a kid playing on my DS when I was like supposed to be asleep, and having my mom like bust into the room to make sure that I was sleeping. When we all knew, everybody did the same strat. We'd put the DS under the pillow and just go to bed or close our eyes. I swear, everybody, that's just a canon event for everybody that played Pokemon growing up. But yeah, it was so much fun. I'm really glad I decided to play like this. It really did feel like I was a kid again. And I think the reason for that is the parameters I gave myself to play the game allowed me to experience it in like the purest form possible. You know, just like when you're a kid and you're playing Pokemon for the first time, you're not theory crafting what team you should use and what gym battles you're looking forward to. You're just exploring the world. You're going on the journey that the game has set out for you, and you're experiencing what makes each town unique, what's going on in the story and the characters that you're being introduced to and connecting with. It's true immersion into the game and experiencing the adventure from the protagonist's perspective. I mean, that's what games are meant to do, right? And honestly, the best parts of the game weren't beating the gym leaders or Team Magma or Team Aqua or catching the legendary Pokemon. Like, those were all great, but the best part of the game was just going to each town, reading the little billboard slogan like next to the Pokemon Center. Every town had one. It was like, this is what makes our town unique. And then exploring it and talking to the people and like seeing that for yourself. It was really a magical experience. It really made me appreciate the intricacies of the level design for each town and the routes, and also the general world building of the region. I like vaguely remembered each route and each town kind of being the same. Maybe I'm thinking of the newer generations, but honestly, playing through Emerald, like every town is unique. Like, you know, one's got like a hot spring, it's built near the volcano. Like one's got ash and soot falling from the volcano. Like the route leading up to that is like covered in the ash, and you can collect it. There's like a guy in a building. He's like, if you collect the ash for me, I'll like give you an item. Which is like never been done before, at least up until that point. Like there was just so much personality to be found in the game. And when you're too hyper focused on optimizing for the perfect team, like I need to be able to one-shot every Pokemon in the game, it's like you're just ruining the player experience for yourself. Like this trend of like hyper optimization for every game, specifically like RPGs or Metroidvanias, I would say, or even open world games. Like I really feel like it takes away a large enjoyment factor for the games, because you're like not letting yourself get immersed. You're focusing on this outside party to ensure that you are experiencing the game the way it should be experienced, like whatever that means. And you're just taking away from what the game itself has to offer you in the enjoyment and the challenges that come with just playing the game. At least for me, I feel like having the perfect run of a game like Pokemon, in the long run, kind of ruins the game for you. If you ever want to like replay the game in the future, it's like, why would you even want to if you've already had like 100% perfect run where you had the most perfect team ever? It's like that would kind of put you off from ever wanting to play the game again. At least in my eyes, that's kind of how I've seen it. And on that note too, because I didn't min-max my team or my, you know, team chemistry or whatever, like I just played with the Pokemon that I found and that I wanted to use. This run that I did was probably the most challenging run of Pokemon I've ever had. Either that or Emerald is just a harder game that I remember, but I've definitely lost the most amount of battles from gym leaders and the Elite Four than in any other run or any other playthrough I've done in Pokemon. And that probably is... part of that is probably from not min-maxing my team, but the fact that I lost so many battles made the victories so much more rewarding. Like if I was just blasting through every battle and there was no challenge, then really like what's the point of playing the game? It's not to experience the story, I'm sure, if you're hyper optimizing your team. And if it's a game you've already played before, like you're not there for the story, you're there for the one-shotting, for the battle system that gets stale when you're just one-shotting everything. Like I don't know. I think this is like the real reason why I stopped finding enjoyment in Pokemon for a long time. And I think this can be carried out, or this can be said for so many other games and so many other genres. I'm specifically thinking like open world games or games that have an emphasis on like exploration. Like if you're just gonna look up where everything is, then you're just hindering your own enjoyment of like the exploring aspect of any game. Like think of like I can think of so many games that like at least the first playthrough experience would just be ruined if I was just looking everything up, like Skyrim, like The Witcher, or like even Dark Souls or Elden Ring. Like those games I feel like are best enjoyed by just throwing yourself in the world and seeing what it has to offer. Like I still remember the first time I played Dark Souls 3 on release. That experience and that first playthrough will always stick with me forever. And that's partially because there was no wiki or no guides to go through or to lean on when the game first released. So I just had to find everything myself rather than just seeing, this is where all of the Estus flasks are. Like I'll just check off everything on the list here. Like no, you have to like go find it yourself. And I think a similar thing could also be said for playing a game with like a walkthrough or a guide, which I have like a personal connection with because the majority of the games that I played growing up, I was watching a Let's Play by like Chugga Conroy playing like Pikmin or Okami or Mario Galaxy or The Wind Waker. Like all of those single player games I experienced with his Let's Plays of, and I was just playing alongside and watching him and then doing the exact same thing that he did. Now as a kid I got a lot of enjoyment out of that, but I also think it kind of in a way ruins the experience for like games that are more puzzle based, or maybe ones that like have like a branching path, like a Telltale game, maybe like something with a branching decision. I'm also now realizing that I didn't go over the team that I used in my Emerald playthrough, so I'm gonna go through a list of them now I'm also going to flash probably the entire team and each one that I used on the screen if I can take a photo of it. It'll probably just be from my phone and look really bad. But yeah, let's just go through it really quick if you were curious about the team that I was using for this playthrough. So the first hard decision I had to make was choosing the starter. I decided to go with Trico because he's the starter that I chose when I first ever played Pokemon Emerald. And I try to avoid the fire types because I feel like the fire types are a little overrated and like too popular. So I always try to go with either the water or the grass type. Not realizing until much later that finding a good fire type in this game is freaking hard. There's like no fire types in this game, and really the only good one is Torchic. I really wanted to use Houndoom, and I was convinced. I actually did a little cheating because I wanted to. I did a little cheating, very contradictory to this entire video that I made, but I did look up the fire types just because I got through like 6 gym badges and I didn't find a single fire type that I wanted to use. Like Slugma or Torkoal or Camerupt. Like I didn't want to use any of them. I wanted a cool fire type. So I just looked up like what were available, and freaking the AI overview told me Houndoom was available. So I was like, okay, I'll just use Houndoom. And then he never showed up until I realized that he's only in the Safari Zone after you beat the game, which is like so stupid. Like, why would you even have that as an option? But whatever. So I did do a little cheating. I know, sue me, but it's not my fault that Pokemon Emerald has no fire types to use in this game. But yeah, I started with Trico. He's now a Sceptile. His name's Blicky because I expected him to be the one-shotter. The bra bra bra. But honestly, he's probably the weakest Pokemon on my team. He's like not that good. Then next up, we got Swellow. I named him Cranberry. I really didn't remember what flying types there were available, and I figured Swellow, the pre-evolution, I'm forgetting the name, but I thought he was just going to be a temporary Pokemon. I was going to replace him. But honestly, Swellow is like really good. He's like one of the hardest hitting Pokemon on my team. And yeah, so I just decided to keep him. He's kind of like a one-trick pony, but he gets the job done, and I really like him a lot. The next Pokemon I caught was an Aron, and he's now evolved into an Aggron. I named him Darunia because I've been playing through Ocarina of Time, and it seemed fitting since he's a rock man. So Aggron, I've never used him on my team because he gets XP really slowly, and I just didn't have the patience to wait for a final evolution until like the 40s. Or 30, I don't remember when he evolved, but I'm glad I used him this playthrough. He's pretty solid, he's really slow, and he does decent damage, but you know, he's really good for tanking. Like everything that's ineffective against him, it deals like 2 damage. He's kind of insane in terms of the tanking. Then the next Pokemon I caught was a Baltoy who evolved into Claydol. I named him Bon Clay. For all my One Piece fans, you know, to Bon Clay, the GOAT. I never used a Claydol before. I've realized after catching him, he's more special defense oriented, but I didn't care. I mean, he's psychic and ground type. He's got levitate. He's super good. He knows earthquake. Like he's got a really versatile move set, and so what if he doesn't one-shot everything? He's still a really solid choice. Then since I was super salty about not being able to use Houndoom, I decided to pick up a Vulpix who evolved into Ninetales, and I named her Rao. She was a girl, so I figured Rao is a perfect name for all my Okami fans out there. Represent. Maybe spoilers, maybe not. You have to play the game. Maybe it's a spoiler now that I said it's a spoiler. But yeah, super solid, super fast, and I really like Ninetales' design, so I'm happy with the choice that I made as a substitute for Houndoom. So yeah, that's 5 out of 6. I'm going in catch order. So the final Pokemon that I caught, it was really a pain in the ass because I couldn't get them for like till the end of the game essentially, but I decided to go with Lantern. Lantern is one of my favorite Pokemon ever, and I never got the chance to use them because I never played Gen 3. But yeah, I got a Lantern. Her name is Lumina. I was thinking like Luma, Illuminate kind of deal. More so Illuminate, and I thought Lumina was a cute name. And yeah, she's really freaking strong, especially, you get her after like the 7th or 6th gym, one of them, I forget. You get Lantern once you learn Dive, which is really freaking stupid because it's the last HM you get. And yeah, let me say, having my last 2 Pokemon be Ninetales and Lantern, meaning that for a majority of the game, I couldn't use fire. I didn't have a good fire Pokemon, and I didn't have a good water and electric Pokemon, made playing through it really challenging. I'm sure that's where a lot of the difficulty came in, because there are so many Magnemites in this game and so many Steel types, and it was just really hard to deal with the type coverage without having Fire type or Water type so late into the game. But regardless, I really wanted to use all of these Pokemon, honestly, and I'm happy with the choice. I'm happy with the team that I built. All of this being said, where I am currently in the game, I actually haven't beaten it yet. I still need to beat the Elite Four. I'm in Victory Road right now, so by the time this video comes out, I believe I should have done it. I should be completely done with Gen 3. A few final things on the rules that I set for myself when playing through the game. There are 3 more that I forgot to mention. One of them being that I need to nickname every Pokemon that I catch, not only the ones that I used. I needed to not use the fast forward function on the Game Boy that I have, and I wasn't allowed to have some other form of like entertainment or media playing in the background when I'm playing Pokemon. So no YouTube, no music, no podcast, nothing like that. So I'm just 100% of my attention is directed towards playing the game and being immersed in the world. So yeah, not having the fast forward, only focusing on the game and nicknaming every Pokemon that I caught really made me like think and be cognizant on like everything that I was doing and like really trying to form a meaningful connection with all the Pokemon that I caught. And for that reason, I think this playthrough is probably the most memorable one that I've had, like ever. Now, it could also be because I haven't played like Pokemon religiously in like 15 plus years. That's probably got a little bit to do with it too. But regardless, I think those rules that I set for myself had a huge impact on the experience that I had playing through. But yeah, that's basically going to be it for me. I thought this would have been an interesting topic to talk about through the lens of Pokemon and the playthrough that I've been having recently. It's been something that's been on my mind as I've been playing through the game more and more. So I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about everything that I talked about. Let me know what you think about the team. And if you had any comments or any feedback regarding this hyper optimization kind of era I feel like a lot of people are in the gaming sphere nowadays. Like, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Hopefully this wasn't too much rambling, but regardless, I hope you enjoyed. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe and leave a comment. All right, thanks. Peace.